Hey guys, this is Matt with Alternative Property Management, and today's short video is titled 3 Things to Ask a Property Management Company Before You Hire Them. All 3 of them are very important. The first has to do with protection for you, second has to do with transparency, and third has to do with your cash flow. Cash is king, right? So the third one's very important, as are the other 2. So let's get started. Number 1 question to ask when you sit down with a property management company thinking about hiring them, and that is, what happens if we're not a good fit? Is there a way out of the contract? Right? I'm going to sign a contract with you that says I give you permission to manage my property and take care of all the things so I don't have the headache, right? And for that, I will pay you a fee or a percentage. What if I feel like you're not pulling your weight? What if maybe we just don't get along? This is a personal business that we're in. Maybe we just don't jive. Is there a way out of that contract? You'll be surprised, or maybe not, in the companies here in St. George, this varies greatly, that some companies are happy to work things out, and in their contract it states that it shows ways to make it so they get compensated for the work they've done, but understand, hey, if we're not a good match, then let's go our separate ways. But there's other companies that are a ball and chain to your leg. You can't get out of the contract no matter what. It doesn't matter if you don't like them, if you feel like they're not even doing their job. If they've put in the tenant in the property, you cannot get out of that contract. And there's multiple companies that come to mind, and the only way to get out of it is if at some point in the future the tenant moves out of that property, so the tenant they found is no longer there, and you can decide to go with someone else. So question number 1, what happens if we're not a good fit? How do I get out of my contract? Okay. Question number 2, that has to do with transparency, is in addition to your monthly management fee, when can I expect to have additional fees? This is a very straightforward question, one that's going to catch some companies off guard, because sometimes there's subtle fees that they slip in there. Okay, I'm going to pay you, let's say 10% to manage my property. Well, is that all included, full service, or when you do property inspections, is that more? When you move a tenant in, is that more? When you move a tenant out, is that more? When this happens, that. The question is, in addition to your monthly management fee, what can I expect to have in additional fees, or when? And if you want to put that in the notes, that there are no additional fees, if that's what they claim, then make sure it's in there, because that's one of the number 1 complaints by owners, is that they feel like they're getting nickeled and dimed by companies that try and get little fees in there every once in a while. Not all companies are like that, right? If my company was like that, I probably wouldn't be making this video. Some companies really can give full service without nickel and diming their owners and charging all those little fees. So question number 3 has to do with your cash flow. Okay, question is, what is your process for turning over a unit? Okay, unit turnover is when the tenant moves out, renter moves out, and they need to find a new renter to move in. Okay, so in other words, what steps do you take, Mr. Property Manager, right? What steps do you take to re-rent it, and what does that timeline look like? This is so important because some companies will have a sense of urgency and some won't. Okay, those without a sense of urgency might start advertising for the property right before the guy moves out or after he moves out. Maybe they get their cleaners in there, their painters in there, whoever, and they give themselves 30 days. That's going to kill your profits. 30 days of rent 3 weeks, 2 weeks. There's a saying I like in this business that's called vacancy kills profit. If their turnaround time is not with a sense of urgency, they're going to kill your profit. Okay? And so that's the question. What is your process for turning over a unit? Or what does that timeline look like? Okay? You want a company, excuse me, you want a company who a month before that tenant moves out, or 3 weeks, that's already up on their website. They're taking applications. They got someone lined up so that when he moves out, day one, cleaners are in there. Maybe at the end of the day, a painter's in there, or day two, a painter's in there. But we're talking within a matter of days. It's taken more than a week. There's a problem. That's a fourth of your rent down the drain because they didn't have someone in place. Now, there's extenuating circumstances for certain situations, but you want to ask them, what is the timeline? What does it look like? Remember, vacancy kills profit. One little bonus tip regarding vacancy kills profit, and that is to go with a company that's going to price your property correctly. Some might promise you big numbers just so that you'll go with them, and then after a month or 2 months, they're like, hey, we should probably lower the price. Well, yeah, you've lost all your profits for that whole year because you've been paying out of your own pocket because there's not a renter in there. Don't fall for this. Remember, vacancy kills profit. It's better to lower the rent $50 and rent it 2 weeks sooner, because you will have lost all that profit by waiting, trying to get that extra $50. Okay, if it's not renting, you need to review it with your property management company ASAP, so that vacancy does not kill profit. If you want more information, yourapm.com. Yourapm.com. You can find out all about us and how to contact us, and we'll be happy to help you however we can. Have a great day, and good luck with your investments.